Hi everyone, I'm the Universal Challenger, welcome back to yet another video. Today, welcome to my top 5, my first top 5 video. My top 5 animated shows of 2023. In the number 5 spot is the show Castlevania Nocturn. The show brings us back to Netflix Castlevania universe like the original show. The art style is on point, and the banter between the characters is quite funny at times. And yet the show remembers where it comes from, with a dark theme filled with vampires, with an evil scheme to take over the world and to bring about eternal darkness. And some of the characters are actually very charismatic and all have their motives explained and their unique personalities. However, I can't really put it on the number 5 spot because the tone is a little too dark for my taste, and the show, in my opinion, is not yet done with its story, and there's definitely room for improvement for some of the characters. It feels like for a fact they needed more development. And there was, I think just in general, a lot of high expectations for the show, but not enough done to meet them. In the number 4 spot is Invincible. This show has entered its second season, and my opinion on the show could change as it goes on. However, Invincible had a strong first season, and the second season is going less in line with a potential good new main villain, and a whole new set of character dynamics, listening to interesting character development and storytelling, or showing the problems of having superpowers and being a superhero, or battling your own doubts and fears in a modern world, and also trying to have a life, while also exploring certain motivations of characters and expanding upon the universe. But I can't really bring the show up to number 4 because it's not yet done. There's a lot more for this show to tell, and also at the same time, the ending might be bad, so I'm rating it as I go. The number 3 and taking the bronze medal is Scott Pilgrim. This show was a very nice surprise when I first saw it, that it had appeared on Netflix, and the show is very charismatic and is actually good as I thought Scott Pilgrim could have been, as interpreted in animation form, with the animation team using the art style of the book as their starting point and matching it point for point. In my opinion, it was an excellent introduction to the Scott Pilgrim series, and also gave me a whole lot more interest in actually reading the show itself. Part of me wants to read the original book, but this show put in some of the whole story perfectly, so what could be gained from reading a story I already know? Also, for a fact, the calling out tropes did get a little bit old towards the end of the show, as did the fact it was very much joke heavy. But it was a very good show to watch. But the show did come out of nowhere, and I'm not really all that familiar with Scott Pilgrim. And the jokes were heavy, so yeah, pretty much sum that up anyway. Taking the silver medal and coming in at number 2 is Star Wars The Bad Batch Season 2. This one was one of the best runs of Disney Star Wars at this moment. It builds off what Season 1 started with the growth of all the characters. It was fun to watch, and the action was very dynamic and fascinating. And even there were a few funny gags in there as well, like a poor clone trooper getting stunned twice. But also, it was a fascinating look into life in the early Empire, and life of the clones after the Clone Wars. But it was the character dynamics that had the second season so most enduring that the Bad Batch of someone like a proper family with 4 dads and Omega as their little princess. And the emotional growth of Omega was good to watch. She's growing up and having to deal with her own turmoils as well. Like realising for a fact the only family she's ever known has gotten a little smaller. And it was good to watch of when poor old Tech decided to teach Omega to fly, and that was fun to watch. But it's not the number 1 spot because the ending was a bit of a punch to the gut. And the fellow did throw the story off in places, but on the whole, it was a very nice show to watch, especially bringing back Captain Rex in a more dynamic role. And it was nice to see exactly how Palpatine got the galaxy most of the galaxy in his pocket, using present circumstances to his own advantages to still get his desired outcome. Before I go over my number 1 choice, here are a couple of honorable mentions. First one is Owl House, which could have been on the list if it had a proper third season. It was nice if it didn't get the 3 animated specials, but a proper third season to explore more of the characters and actually spend more time, allow them to grow more as characters. And the other one is Mech. This show has a nice story and a great concept, but it just needed a few more episodes to flesh out a story, and also at the same time, it was a bit flashy. Going for the gold and taking the number 1 spot is Star Trek Prodigy. This is going to be one of the best Star Trek has ever had in terms of a show. With an engaging and diverse cast of characters, and the callback to the past stuff was a neat idea during one episode. Even using original voice lines, as if to give these characters a proper send-off. And the story about learning about yourself and learning about each other was very nice to do. And the story for this season, season 1, has been very cohesive. and engaging, with the characters feeling, towards the end, like an unlikely but close band of misfits, who've all grown and developed throughout the course of the show, each one with their own unique talents and unique traits. And then the ending of the show was very nice. It was run off the story nicely, should the show not go on a second season, but also leaving it open for more adventures of the crew of the Protostar, and also making the crew feel more involved. It feels, oddly enough, Star Trek Prodigy feels, oddly enough, an excellent callback to the original, while also a good way of actually bringing in new fans to Star Trek, because you get the whole experience, or a taste of what Star Trek can offer in one package, especially for younger viewers as well. And the reason why it's number one is the fact it was just so very nice to see. Well, I've been the Info Channel, so please leave a like, comment and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one. Cheerio!